Good afternoon. Actually, it is after 5 o'clock. It is technically good evening, everyone. And welcome to SILAHOLICS Anonymous and Honestly Speaking, because I am cross-posting to both locations because I'm going to do a little bit of silhouette work. Normally, I just kind of go to Honestly Speaking because we're going to sub, but I am going to show like some basic designing in Silhouette Studio. So I am on SILAHOLICS Anonymous and Honestly Speaking. So if you want to watch the full demonstration and the full video, you can visit either one of those channels if you're watching from Facebook, because that's where the full one's going to be. So if you're watching the playback over on Facebook, look in the comments and click on one of the links to go over to either SILAHOLICS Anonymous or Honestly Speaking and watch the full demo. It's actually probably going to be SILAHOLICS Anonymous's link that's there, because that's the one that I'm looking at. Let's see. So let's go in and type watch full video on YouTube. All right, copy. And bam, there we go. Hola, people. All right, I am going to share this out. So, let's see. I'm trying to find it. Oh, there is my notification. I was like, where is my notification at? So I'm going to share this out over on Facebook real quick. While I am sharing, I ask that you guys do the same and go ahead and share as well. I hate when I do that. I always hit the wrong thing. So there we go, and post. And I'm going to share it out in my Facebook groups. And we are going to get started. What we are going to do today, I'm going to show you a little bit of design in Silhouette Studio, and then we are going to sub to a drawstring bag and a phone case with my tacky paper, because someone was asking, could you use it on like hard substrates? And I must say, I've never used the tacky paper on hard substrates, because it's meant for fabric so that it can stick to it and you don't get ghosting. So I've never actually used it on a hard substrate. I'm going to do that today because I was like, I have to know the answers to these things. So I'm going to sublimate onto a phone case because it's something that's small, and it was a case that I ordered. It was the wrong one. I ordered the wrong model for MJ's phone. So I'm going to use that one because no one in this house can use it anyway. And let's see. Trying to get this all shared out. I don't know why my group is like so far down on my list. And my phone is dead. It's a lot quicker from my phone, but it's dead. It went dead watching Patrice's 1 year on YouTube. So I was over on watching Patrice on Craftable Things on my phone, and it went dead. So I let's see, share to a group and search for a group, Honestly Speaking. 365 Sublimation. And one more. Patrice, I see that you're on. Are you going to share to Craftable Things, or do you want me to do it? All right, last one. Sublimation for beginners. I used to share to a lot of different places, but I am, I can't even share from here. Why don't I see that one? Yeah, I used to share to a lot of places, and my team was like, you don't give people an opportunity to share because you share it everywhere so that it doesn't bombard groups. So I leave it for you guys to share. All right. All right, there we go. I am all shared out. And yes, you two brought us together. But yeah, we are going to do a little bit of designing in Silhouette Studio. And then we are going to sub onto a drawstring bag and a phone case with my tacky paper. Did it print? Let me see that. It's on the floor. It fell because it's really, really huge. Ooh, we went right to the edge. Hopefully it went in crooked because this isn't really, I took my 24-inch roll and I cut it in half. So it's a little funky on the end. So it didn't quite print. Wait a minute. Why is it so long? I don't know why I did that one. I cut it too big, but it didn't, like the way I cut it on my husband's table saw. The edges are a little bit off, so it shifted a little bit, but I put a bleed so it should still fit over the drawstring bag. Actually, let me check before I say that. Yeah, I'm still good on my drawstring bag, so I don't have to reprint it, but it did shift a little bit. All right, we are going to jump into Silhouette Studio first, but intros. I am Shakia of SILAHOLICS Anonymous and the product line, Honestly Speaking. I do these live videos and just different tutorials. I don't do as many pre-recorded ones, but there's some that are there in an effort to teach you guys how to use Silhouette Studio, which is the program for the Cameo. However, you can use it for a wide variety of things, such as sublimation, and you do not have to have a Silhouette machine to use the program. Even if you want to pay for the upgrade, like Business Edition, to have more features for your sublimation or your printed designs for invitation stickers, anything like that, you can get the upgraded version and still not have a machine. So I teach you guys how to use the program. And then I also teach different craft things, paper crafting, print and cut things, HTV, adhesive, sublimation, foam board, like all sorts of things you can find on my two platforms, SILAHOLICS Anonymous and Honestly Speaking, spelt like our product line, SPINKING, but it's pronounced speaking, or just say HS Inc. or Team 365. All right, we sell sublimation paper on a roll. It is different from our sheets because it is a tacky paper and it is meant to stick to fabrics to keep it from doing any type of shifting in case you might get like ghosting. For just regular prints, it's never really needed, but it's great if you're doing one where you're piecing in sections so that it doesn't move. It is great for that, especially for like all over shirts. And you won't have to do as many like single page prints when you're using the roll paper. So we're going to use that and do some silhouette work. All right. If you are watching over on Facebook, this is just a preview. You guys will have to come over to YouTube to see the full demonstration. All right. And let's see. Oh, I definitely will share to the group, but you were on. So I was like, okay, did you share? All right. But yeah, if you're on Facebook, you definitely want to hit in the comments, it has the direct link to this video as it's playing on YouTube, or you can just go to one of our YouTube channels, SILAHOLICS Anonymous or Honestly Speaking, and watch it there. All right. We are going to go over to my silhouette screen. There we go. And I am an Air Force veteran. If you did not know, Into the Blue, hoorah. And I had this drawstring bag. I couldn't figure out like what to put on it. And I'm like, 4th of July is coming up. So let's just be very patriotic. And I'm a U.S. Air Force veteran. So I just put that on there. And I actually didn't realize there was like this bluish color until I made a shirt. And I was like, oh, okay, I can make the veteran that color. And although this phone case will fit none of the phones in my house, I'm going to put the U.S. veteran on this phone case because it is the wrong one. So going to show you how I set this design up. Very, very easy to do. This is something that's very simple to do. It's just a background, tracing, and offsets. So this is what we are going to go over as far as designing in Silhouette Studio. And then we're going to press it to these two items. With our paper, you can sublimate at 365 degrees for just 30 seconds. Yes, just 30 seconds. And that is what we're going to do today. Although I wonder if I probably have to go a little bit longer. This has a lot of big seams on it. I get the feeling that where the drawstrings are, it's not going to get enough pressure, but we will see once we go to press it. All right. If you would like to see how I put this design together, excuse me, and you are watching on Facebook, whether you are watching it now live or you are watching the playback of this, click on the link in the comments or just go directly to Silaholics Anonymous or Honestly Speaking to watch the playback of the rest of this live. But we are going to end this right at 11 minutes. So I will see you guys later, Facebook. See you on the other side. All right, now it is just us here on YouTube, the YouTube fam. How are you guys doing? Let's see. I saw a couple, hey, how you doing? So I'm just gonna go ahead and acknowledge you. Oh, wait, it's a lot of them. Hold on. Hello, hello, hi, hi, hello, hey there. Hola, hola. Hello, hello, hi, hi, hello. I forgot to also say, if you are a first timer here and you have never caught any of my content, or maybe this is just your first time catching me live, go ahead, drop a hey, how you doing? Let me know where you are watching from. Let me know you are a first timer. Drop that Y emoji, Y reaction. Well, over here, you have to do just the emoji. Facebook, you have the reaction. You don't have a reaction over here. And just let me know that you are a first timer. All right. So let's see. Congratulations, Jessie. You won on my girls 1 year anniversary giveaway. Congratulations. Hey, Jessie. Hey, Jessie. It feels like a party every day. All right. Let's see. I am wonderful. Hey, hey, hey. All right, so if you are new to my channel, I see some of you saying can't see the video. What I do here while I am sharing out, you guys won't see any video. You're going to see my start screen until I am actually like ready to do the actual like demonstration or tutorial or whatever it is, because it's a live video and I have to wait for like the notifications to kick in and all that kind of good jazz. If someone goes to watch the playback, I want them to know that once that screen is gone and they don't see the start screen, that's where the actual meat and potatoes start. So I show my beginner banner until I'm ready to really get into it, okay? Did I say good morning or I said good afternoon? But good afternoon. Let's see. Hey, hey, hey. All right. Let's see. My youngest nephew just graduated. His Air Force training is now stationed in New Jersey. I'm going to see him next week for the first time since the pandemic. I can't wait. Well, tell him I said thank you for his service and hoorah. Making lollipop flowers to put on my sublimation mugs. I'm actually going to make, look, you hear my mom back there? She's saying, woo, I don't think she's making those type of flowers, but that's the next thing if I can clean off my desk. She wants to learn how to make paper flowers. So that will be the next one because she just kind of popped up over here. Y'all know my mama likes to pop up on me. Ooh, hola from Honolulu. All right, y'all. Let's get started because we are on this screen, so it's time to get started. The drawstring and the, what's this thing called? The case. Technically, all I did was just make a box because the way this design is, it's just going to cut off right here on the phone case, but you can scan things like phone cases and things like that with your Epson printer and then open it up in Silhouette Studio to get an exact template, especially if you're going to do like faces and things like that. You don't want where the cutout is for the cameras to cut off someone's face. So for that, you want to either just strategically put it somewhere or do an actual template. But for this, because it's just a background, I just measured it and that was it. Now, I don't remember the measurements. I'm not going to pretend like I remember the measurements. So I'm just going to duplicate those items. So it was 2 3/4 by 6. And then for the drawstring, it was 17.5 by 11.5. So I started out by going over to the rectangle tool and just making the box. Your template is not your design page. You would make a box or make a shape. That is your template. Your design page, especially with sublimation, is just about like what size paper you're going to print it to. This is not meant to be your template. So this is the template for my drawstring, and this is the template for my phone case. When doing sublimation, if you're going to do something that is a full bleed and you want it to go edge to edge, you always want to add a bleed to it. So because I have the two here, I'm just going to select them both and put an offset on them both. Normally, the default is enough, but I am going to take it up just a little bit just to give it some more room, just in case. And it doesn't matter for this if it's square or rounded because it is just the bleed. They said, hey, Miss Sharon.
Hey.
And then we're going to hit apply. And that is where you're going to fill in your background to. I'm going to go to these JPEGs that I had from Creator Fabrica. And I'm using this one. So all I have to do is take it from here, drag it and drop it in. And it will be in Select Studio. Humongous, but it will be in here. Then you're going to shrink this down to size, rotate it. I'm going to place it where I want it to go. I'm going to zoom back in because I'm zoomed out. We're going to send that to the back. And for the sake of this tutorial, so you guys can see, because this is red and white, I'm going to make this a very crazy color. These colors do not print that I am making the lines. You never have to worry about those printing unless you have a number here on the weight. So I'm going to position this here. I'm going to show you two different ways. So this is if you, you can do this whether you have business or designer or not, because sometimes it is easier, but I'm going to show you if you have designer, how to use your properties dropper. So you don't force it. Well, for me, I don't try to move it in and force it into the size. This is a design where, it probably wouldn't matter too much because it's just tie-dye, but I personally never do that because I don't like to get in the practice of doing that. So I make it bigger than my template, and then we're going to crop it down in there. So we're going to drag and select the background and the outside edge, which is our bleed line, and we're going to go to modify and crop. So now that's cropped down in there. Or if I click here with Designer Edition or above, and you guys really can't even see that. Let's see. Can you see that one? Somewhat. It's zoomed out and the background is gray. But if you have Designer Edition or above, whether it's the original picture or even once it's filled in here, there's this little thing here, which is my second best friend. It's called the Properties Dropper. If you click on that, it is going to copy the properties. So just to show you, before I put my background, I'm going to come over here to this blue. If I do that, it's going to fill in with blue. It took away my line color. I'm going to make this, hold on, let's do it this way. So I'm going to go and make this, let's say purple, so you guys can actually see it, that it's going to go away. So if I hit I'm trying to get over here. All right. If I go to my properties dropper and click here, see that purple line went away and it became blue, just like the other one. So it's just called your properties dropper. So I want my background. So I can go here and just sample that one. If it does that, don't be alarmed. It's a little foolish glitch in this particular version. If you go up to your fill pattern, go over to your fill panel, go to the fill pattern window. Click on advanced options. It has defaulted to stretch. Go to maintain ratio, maintain aspect ratio. It's back. It is a little off, but it's back. You're going to go to pan, click on the white circle, and you can move that around wherever you want. And then if it's kind of cutting off, you can always scale it up. Maybe you only want that part of the design. You can scale it like that. Maybe I want just a few of the stars. If I want to pan it up because I don't want that part, I want more of this red, you can move it around and customize it. If you want to rotate it, you can do that too. All from your fill. Ooh, I like that angle. I already printed it out though. I like the, what's this, tie-dye hanging off the side. But you can change that however you want. And then we're going to add the text and stuff in. So this is a PNG of the Air Force logo. We're just going to do a basic trace. You double click, it's just 4 dots. That means that it's just an image. You can't cut this. It'll just be a box. If I add line color to this, it is just a box around it. So we're going to trace this. You go to your trace window, select trace area, place your box around it. This is all one solid color and it's a darker color. Don't have to adjust anything on the threshold. By habit, I always take my scale down. In this case, it's not going to affect it, but it's habit for me. And then we're going to trace. Not trace and detach, just trace. Now that this is traced out, I have a vectorized image of this. I can fill this in with any color that I want. If I fill this in with color, it's going to fill in a box. So now this is an actual vector. It's not an SVG. SVG is just a file format. SVG just means scalable vector graphic. This is a vector graphic because it has lines and paths, and you can click on it and you see edit points and you can adjust those. So I vectorized it. Right, but I want Air Force separated from here. So I'm going to right click and release compound path. My top one, nothing's going to change on that because nothing is closed off. Everything here is separate. So I'm just going to select all of that part, making it a compound path and grouping. In this case, it's going to be the same thing because there are no internal parts. It's all loose. So it doesn't really matter which one I do. But down here, I have to make it a compound path because this released, and that's the middle of the A. If you just group it, and because this is a print project, that part in the middle will print yellow and you won't see through the text. So for this, I have to make it a compound path so that that area shows through for a print. If I was just cutting from vinyl, technically, I can leave that in that color because the machine is going to cut wherever there is a path. But for print purposes, I need to make it a compound path so it knocks out the middle parts. Okay. And now we're going to color this. I wanted to use colors from here. We can tell Air Force Blue is totally different from here, but I want to use some of the colors that were inside this. So we're going to start with the blue. You don't go back to this dropper. That's going to put the whole pattern in there. You're going to go up to the color palette, either on the top left or the color palette here, which I'm going to use this one because I need to sample quite a few colors. So I'm going to detach it off and I'm going to take my dropper and come to one of the darker blues. And then actually I need to make a color palette because I don't want to have to keep going back. So I'm going to make a square and fill that with blue and then Control or Command on a Mac, down, down, down to make a couple duplicates. And we're going to sample this bluish color here or tealish color. We're going to sample one of the reds. I think I did like this middle red. And of course, I need white. I select them all, go to my line color and make it no color. That way, when I use my properties dropper, there will be no line color. All right, now I want to start putting my offsets on this. I'm going to select it, and it's kind of small, so I'm going to make it a little bit bigger and go to offset. Offset. I'm going to take this down smaller. I think I did 0.05. And then apply. And then I'm going to go to my properties dropper and select the white and click off. Drag and select everything here. My blue is the front part of it's already grouped together. So I have all those little pieces. If I hold down Shift, click on the blue, I've deselected it. Now I only have my white areas. So I'm going to undo, undo, undo. And I'm going to group that together. It's really hard sometimes to get in there. So you're going to either use the keyboard shortcut, or you can just come up here to the top and choose group. I don't always right click and group, especially when it's something small like this. And then same thing down here. I'm going to select it all, hold down Shift, click any part of the word U.S. Air Force, and Control G, Command G to group it together. Then we're going to do another offset. It doesn't matter if I select it all. The offset is going to pretty much go by the outside line. So it's not going to give me like a double offset because I have the blue in there. You're going to see it once I hit offset, but it's not going to stay. So we're going to go, I'm going to pull this off because I have a couple offsets to do. Offset. And that one wasn't this big. I think that one is 0.025 because that is one that is like a shadow. I need to overlap just a little bit more. So maybe 0.035, hit enter. And there we go. There's the overlap that I want. And I'm going to hit apply. I'm going to fill that in with the red, although on mine, I think I end up making that one blue. But I'm going to tab it down and over. So that is my highlight behind it. But for my Air Force symbol, I actually made that, which I now need to select everything, hold down Shift, select the blue, select the white, and make that blue and group it together. I don't have that blue on my Air Force. So for my Air Force insignia, for the symbol, I'm going to go offset again. And I want to say I did that one at 0.075. Oops, I put too many points. 0.075. And then apply. And then the red. And I don't remember if I pushed that down. Okay, I did. I made that another kind of pushed off to the side offset as well. And then if you have Designer Edition or above, there is an option to create shadows within Silhouette Studio. It's a click of a button, but if you don't, it's the same as doing this offset and pushing it off to the side, make it black, and then just take your transparency down. So that's how you would create a shadow if you don't have Designer Edition or above. But I do. So I'm going to select them. Oh, you know what? No, I only want the back one. I'm going to go to, let's see, I forgot to group together my red. So I'm going to highlight up and just touch my red areas. Let me change the color. See, I was missing some stuff. Go like that. I on my keyboard to bring up my properties dropper, click the red, Control G group. And you can see, I like keyboard shortcuts. It just makes navigating through the program so much easier and faster when you learn your keyboard shortcuts. So now that I have that grouped, I'm going to hold down Shift, click on my red, go to my effects panel, Go to the last icon, which is the shadow. Click on the dynamic. Hey, dynamic shadow, dynamic ink. And it's the anniversary. Actually, no. When is the anniversary for the ink, though? It's been 1 year for the YouTube, but when's your anniversary for your ink? And we're going to go to shadow color. I just want it to be a dark color and then adjust my transparency. And that is done. So, release shadow. Always release shadow. And then come off, select the top, group it together, select the bottom, group it together. And I actually used a different color blue. I can see it now. And then we're going to take all of this and pull it over here. Because, yeah, it's a much darker color. And I think I also see the difference, too, in how much of the design I have here versus over here. So it's a tighter one and the colors are darker. But by me taking this and scaling it up, I change how it appears. It's the same exact image, but I would end up seeing more of like the lighter colors, and I can pan it around and not so much the darker ones. And so it just changes the look a little bit. So just panning and scaling can change even though you're using the same pattern. Having this over here, this would have a different effect as far as like the way the Air Force looks. And I think I still have some red lines on, some line colors. That's another thing. Watch how this changes once you take the line color off. Like it brightens it up. Let me leave it zoomed out and you can probably see it better that way. See how that brightened that up? I don't like line colors. They can be a distraction for seeing what you act like, what's actually going on your screen. And so if I pull this up to here, so for the veteran, pretty much the same thing. I sampled the blue. I put a small white offset to contrast it from the background or separate from the background. And I put the same shadow on it. And then, well, this is also tilted. You can tell the green circle is not straight up and down. So I did tilt it some and I sent it behind the Air Force. So just for the sake of time, I'm going to bring this to the front because when I typed it out, it was in front of Air Force like this. So rather than try and move all of these to the front, you just select all the background and the word veteran, right click and send to the back. So the insignia in U.S. Air Force stays in place. And now this is technically behind that. And so that's what I did for that. Once I had it set up exactly how I wanted it. Oops, undo. And let's get rid of this. So let's convert to path. So my text is just a path. I duplicated it, shrunk it down, and then put it on the phone case because it was already set up. So I just shrunk it down to fit within the phone case space. So we're going to shrink down the U.S. Air Force part. And remember, this is my bleed. This is my actual case, like the case edge. So I want to make sure that my text is within there. I normally give myself a safe zone, but for this one, I didn't. I explained safe zones in my sublimation seminar and boot camps. And I want this one to be a little bit bigger because it can be. So I just separate, like just click on that one and make that a little bit bigger. So that is how the phone case was set up. So I just filled in the background. And then once I had this, shrink it down to size. And then we're going to print. File, print. I'm on my Sublimation printer, preferences. I already have a preset. I have a video, search Honestly Speaking, I think updated sub settings or something like that, but I can also drop it in the comments. And it goes over the new settings that I have tested out and the ones that I recommend, especially when using art paper, because it is not meant to have a lot of ink on your paper. It is a waste of ink. You're going to see we're going to get great colors, and I'm using plain paper setting. So it's plain paper, bright white. I have my quality set to quality, or here it says more settings, more options, custom advanced, Adobe RGB 1.8, high speed really doesn't matter, mirror on, under maintenance, extended settings. Because I'm using the tacky paper, I took my density down to 12 because it has a different type of feel to it. And it can get pizza wheels because it doesn't dry because of the coating for the tacky paper. It doesn't absorb the ink. So you want to take your print density down so it's not putting so much ink down. And then okay, and then print. Oh, I'm going to go back. I'm using my sublimation paper roll. I have a video on how to go to set that up under more options. So you have to check out that video on setting up for sublimation paper rolls, or just rolls in general, because you can use rolls of regular paper for small banners and things like that. So check out my video on how to do your preset for longer paper. With Epson's, you can print up to 47.24 inches long. So I'm going to cancel because I've already printed it out. And now we're going to go over to the heat press. She says, that is amazing. We'll be glad when I can do all of that. You can. These are very simple steps. This really is a really basic one. If you play around with your offsets, you're going to be able to create amazing designs just using simple things. So you can definitely do it. Just play around with the tools within Silhouette Studio. All right. So now I printed it out. Let's go ahead and switch to, oh, we need to start camera. There we go. All righty. And switch over. Oops, wrong one. There we go. This is a drawstring bag. I don't remember where I got this from. It may have come, I don't know if this is the one that came in the trend box for Johnson's Plastics, or if this was one I got in my mystery box from Sublimation Blanks and More. I really don't remember, but there are a lot of places that sell sublimation blanks that will have drawstring bags. This one doesn't have anything plastic on it. It's all fabric for this one. And so once you are ready to like pull it so that it doesn't go all the way through, you will need to tie a knot either on this side, or you can do like from the back side. You can put those two, whatever, like however you want to tie it. But these don't have anything metal on it. That's not metal, like plastic that's going to melt. That's why I really like this one, because everything on here is either fabric or metal. So no plastic on this particular one. And I really don't remember who this came from. I don't know if this came from, it's 100% polyester, but I don't remember from Sublimation Blanks and More or Johnson's Plastics trend box. I don't remember. I need butcher paper. So actually, where is my parchment paper? I don't have time to deal with butcher paper. Where is my parchment paper? Here it is. So this is the one from Sam's Club. Oh, come on. Anybody got time for that? What is scissors? I don't know why it doesn't want to cut. I try and get that to be flat. I'm telling you, I already know that that's going to be an issue at the top because I don't have a pressing pillow to put underneath to absorb that extra bulk. So up there might be a little funky. I don't know if these strings are polyester, so I'm going to cover them with heat tape because I don't want ink on it if they are polyester. I don't know if they're polyester or cotton, but I'm going to close my heat press so that I can test the pressure. It's kind of hot, so we're going to turn this down. All right, 2 is good for me. And like I said, I'm going to cover up my my strings with our heat tape. Honestly speaking, Sells heat tape. We have them in 6 different sizes, so that you use the right size heat tape for the job, and it minimizes you having to do a whole lot of unnecessary cutting and stuff. Your tape is going to last longer because you're going to use multiple sizes for the job, for different jobs. So we have 1/2 inch, 1 inch, 2 inch, 3 inch, 4 inch, and then 6 inch. And the next go round, I made a boo-boo. So the next go round, we will have the 8-inch one, which is going to be perfect for tumblers because you just do 1 wrap with the tumbler. If you haven't seen my videos on that, I do my tumblers with the heat tape instead of shrink wrap or any of those things. So I'm just going to close that off so that I protect the strings. All right, I'm gonna grab my print, which I don't know why it was supposed to be 22. I cut that to 32. This is kind of wasted paper, but I can always cut it down to a smaller size and use it. And see when my paper shifted. But for this application, it's fine. Technically, I won't need to tape this down, but I do want to make sure that this is centered. So I'm going to take my Air Force and find the center and mark that, and then kind of put that on the center of this bag. I purposely put the design down lower because once you pull your strings, if you have your design way up here, you're not going to see it. So have your design like down a little bit so that when it's drawn in, you can still see your design and it's not all bunched up at the top. So the main part of the design, I have it down a little bit further so that I can still see it once the bag is closed. Like I said, the top portion may show out because it's very bulky. And that also goes to like certain things really aren't like everything with sublimation doesn't have to be an all over print because some things just won't work well because it's bulky. And it's better if you just have a nice design like in the center where you don't have to worry about bulk. So that's going to probably look a little funky at the top. So we're going to go ahead and slide this in. No cover sheet is required for our paper. With this, the entire substrate is covered. If I were doing something, and let's say with this, if I wasn't sure if this black was polyester, which, oh shoot, I should have covered this up. That when I pre-pressed it, that's probably on my heat press. If this is polyester, it's colored via dye. So when you put heat to it, it's still going to release just like sublimation ink. So that can stain your heat press. Same thing goes for those panel blankets that can stain because that dye will release once heat is applied to it. So if this was exposed, I would say put a piece of cover paper on top, not for our paper, but to protect your heat press from the dye that may come off of this, which I probably now have black on there. I'm going to definitely press this on some butcher paper afterwards to burn off any dye that may have gotten on there. But the paper itself, if your substrate is completely covered, you don't have to worry about a cover sheet in any way, shape, or form. That ink is not going to bleed through. So we're going to close that, press it. Ooh, I probably should give it a little bit more pressure. It's a little too late now. I'll probably pull that part back and just press it a little bit more. But 30 seconds, and this is going to be done. And while that's going, I'm going to prep my phone case.
A little bit more because of the top.
I'm going to press that one by itself. So most times, anything metal and hard stuff, especially the metal, it will come with a film on it, and you just have to peel that plastic film off so that you can sublimate to it. All right, so 30 seconds, a little bit over, but just because of the top part, I'm going to pull this down and give that like another little press at the top. Give it a little bit more pressure just to make sure. Oh, wait. And because it's the tacky paper, it's stuck to it. It's not going to move. I can repress this and not worry about it. And I think it messed with the pressure here. I can see some lines. I think I probably should have pressed it again because I think right here, yep, the ripples, I can tell. I can even feel the ripple right now. That's going to be an issue. Inspect it. The tacky paper makes it to where you can kind of inspect a little bit before you say, all right, I'm done. All right, so that's nice and flat, but I see some ripples in here and this moved. So let's get rid of this. I don't know if I should. Yeah, let me just repress it. I need another piece of parchment paper, but look at that. That's not going to move because it's on. No, because it's on the tacky paper. That print, it don't move. It don't move. It don't move. That print, it don't move. It don't move. All right. Let's press that bad boy again. But I want you guys to see how beautiful the colors are going to look after just 30 seconds. I'm going to peel off a little bit. So you don't think the second press is what did it. Look at that. But I can tell because it was uneven pressure, it did not fully take. So we're going to press it again. I'm going to even turn it the other way just so that it folded under itself. So that we can get a good press on this because of the seams. And what I'm going to do, I already did this. I'm going to pull my seams past the edge. And that's probably how I should have did it the first time. And then came back and did the edge. So I pulled where the drawstring is past the edge. And now I'm going to press the rest of it, which that's way too much pressure. I forgot I turned it. We don't need that much pressure, especially with our paper. And I really won't need the full time either. Ooh, look at that. Look at that. And I don't need the full time. I actually can press with 20 seconds with this Hartronics, and that's a lot flatter. So we're going to see and hope and pray we got rid of any ripples. But look, plain paper, not premium matte, plain paper setting. Yep, no ripples. My top is gorgeous. I got that part done. That ripple wasn't a factor. It filled back in because this was a little bit light right here because of the uneven pressure. But that second press and putting this off of the press really helped with that. And this is so a little bit more than 30 seconds, but I promise you our paper works at just 30 seconds and the colors pop with, ow, that's hot. I forgot there's metal under there. Plain paper setting. Let me put it on this camera. I think the lighting might be better on this camera. So let's switch to that one. There we go.
You never take pictures of your stuff either.
I know. My mom just told me, she's like, you never take pictures of your stuff. This is for me, so I'll actually get a chance to take pictures of this, but I don't know. This Brio camera to me is not all it's cracked up to be to cost so much money. I think the color looked better on the other one. It's just that the lighting, where the light is, it makes it look crazy. Because this video is doing this print no justice.
It's way darker than that.
Yeah, it looks funky on here. And that's why I need to take pictures. I got to figure out the settings on this stupid Brio camera. But that's that. So that's that one. And now, like I said, I've never done hard substrates with the tacky paper.
I thought you said don't use the paper here.
I folded it.
No.
You can't put it on something else. My mom actually said, I thought you said you're not supposed to use the paper again. So you can't use this and put something else because it'll transfer. But because I close it on itself and now it's not going to touch my heat press, I can reuse it again.
What about the black that was under there?
It's not, I can pull this here to make sure that it, because that time it was this way. So I can put that on there. So I'm going to take this and
That's going to be hard.
center it. And I'm going to use heat tape. Where is my tape dispenser?
The one you was using in the living room?
But there's another. Oh, here's one here. I'm like, there's another one in here. Girl, that keeps me a tape dispenser now. Keeps me a tape dispenser in the office. So we're just going to tape this down. We will have these tape dispensers soon as well. Man, they are a lifesaver. Oh, wait, y'all can't even see it because I'm on the other camera. Wait, there we go. That one right there. But I'm going to switch the camera. All right. So we will have these on the site very, very soon. All right, we're just going to flip this over. Again, no butcher paper is required on top. I'm not worried about this gassing through. The parchment paper normally doesn't really gas through, but if you wanted to be on the safe side, you could cut it away, but there's no sense in me wasting paper unnecessarily. Oh, and let me put this up here just in case there was some black. And, oh, shoot. I forgot to check the pressure.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this is really thin, so this actually might be good for this. Ooh, still too much. It's at a 6. Ooh, that's a lot, but it's okay. You really don't need a lot. I should have checked it. A 1 or 2 would have been perfect on this. And I wish I had something else metal to press, but I don't. Wish I had something else metal to press to show you that you don't have to have all that pressure. Yada, yada, yada. All right. That's going to be hot because that is metal. It's not going to stay hot long because we're only at 360 degrees instead of 360 degrees. So it's not going to stay hot long. Like I said, I've never done hard substrates with, see, it didn't even stick to it. So it doesn't stick like it did the, what's that stuff called? The drawstring bag.
Oh, that's cute.
Oh, I wasn't centered though. That sucks. I wasn't centered. Huh, it looks like it did fine.
It's cute.
Yeah. I don't see any type of bubbling or anything like that. The tacky paper did good on it.
Can't see, it's too much glare.
Yeah, no. So there's nothing, it's nice and smooth. So yeah, that came out pretty good. And again, that's plain paper setting. I wasn't centered, but oh, come on, focus.
Too much glare.
Yeah. And then to put it on the phone case, there's always an adhesive on the back of these. And you just peel the protective paper off. And then take your phone case and place it, well, your print, place it on there and press it in. And that is how you make the phone cases. But I can't even put this in a phone because this fits not one phone in our house. I don't know how I ordered this one. I need to make MJ one with something because I have the one for his phone, but this is not it. Not it. But that's how that goes. And I'm so mad. Yeah, y'all can't see like this. I'm going to take a picture and post it because, see, on this camera, you can see it. It's my Brio.
It's still darker than that.
My Brio camera is not all this cracked up to be. But that's a big difference between the other camera. So yeah, that's that. So we got a little bit of design, got to see the tacky paper, which it will be available after the holiday. It is in Miami. It is at the warehouse. It is awaiting customs clearance, and then it will be on its way to us. But because they didn't call me today, that means most likely it won't be scheduled, and I didn't actually pay for the release yet. So once I pay the bill for them to release it and all that kind of stuff, then they will schedule for it to be here, which means that it will not be here until after 4th of July. So sometime next week, for those who have been waiting, the rolls will be back. The 13-inch rolls and the 8.5-inch rolls will be back on the site next week. Nope, they can't order it now. But yeah, they will be back on the site next week. And what else? I don't remember what else I was going to say. But you can go and order 11 by 17, 13 by 19, 8.5 by 14. There's still a few 8.5 by 11s left because we found a case of 8.5 by 11 mixed in with the 11 by 17s. So we have one case of that and a little bit of that case because people have been buying it over the weekend. And we have the, what's those things called? The heat tape. We have sublimation ink, sublimation pigment ink, and we have the cartridges for the 7820, 7840 printers. The chip resetters do not work on it, but if you have a Workforce 7720, 7710, 7210, 7610, 7620, 7110, you definitely need to get yourself a chip resetter. All right. All of that is available on shop.silaholicsAnonymous.com. Shop.silaholicsAnonymous.com. Don't forget to use your code, Patrice. And also, if you guys don't know, there was a building collapse here in South Florida. So honestly speaking, is going to do our part to give to the relief effort. So orders from this month, a portion of those profits will go to the relief fund for the Surfside Relief Fund. Yes, we have pigment ink. I will definitely say, we've already discussed this. I will definitely save you a roll. Yes, that one was a phone case. No, that's the next door neighbor. Everybody's doing because no one could do yard work because it was been raining. So everyone was doing yard work today. She says, I need some tacky paper if it does that. It's amazing. All right. If there are no other questions, I shall talk to you guys later. I just realized I just told you that we would do the flowers, and I got a whole business session that starts at 7:30.
Just give me the machine and the file. I'll do it at home.
I just realized that. I'm like, wait, it's almost 7:30, and I have a business strategy session at 7:30 for PayPal. My bad, homie. I'll give you the machine though.
No, I'll come back tomorrow and get it.
Oh, you gonna come back tomorrow?
Yeah, I still need to work on my 2.0.
Oh, okay. So then we can do that one. And so tomorrow at some point when she gets off work, we will do paper flowers. So I can show her how to make paper flowers because she wants to learn how to do them for an event that she has coming up. Really, Zion Imani?
Stop it. No.
Thank you for a great live and demo. You guys are very welcome. All right. Thank you guys so very much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. Come back and leave a comment in the comment section. That helps engagements. Thumbs up this video. If you have not done so, take 5 seconds. Click off the live chat. Go and like the video. This was worth giving it a thumbs up. I think so. So give the video a thumbs up and recommend us to a friend. We are now a little under 300 away from our 25K. Woo! And I have two 7210s. Those issues are going to be an arm and a leg to ship. However, that lovely man that I am married to said that, look, but I had already said it though, so don't tell him, let him think that it was his idea. Don't tell him I said this, but he was like, oh, we can do, when you get to 25K, I think we should give away one of the 70, like one of the printers, since it's so hard to come by. And I was like, oh, really? That's a good idea. Mind you, I had already said I wasn't going to buy one then. I would give away one of the ones I have. And then when they come back, I would order me another one. So yeah. And then his other thing was every time that we see one, if we see it, like I'm able to order one and do a giveaway with it every time I see it on Epson's site. So we will be giving away Epson 7210s. Anytime I can get my hands on one, we're going to do a giveaway for one. So if you see it, text me, inbox me, post in the group so I can get on there and try and get a printer so that we can do giveaways for it. All right. All right, y'all. I shall talk to you later. Until next time, have a great one and be incredible. Peace.